Hello and welcome. Today we're going to brew Silversmith's Session Ale. Now, a Session Ale in the UK is a not too alcoholic beer that lets you have a good long session or sesh. It actually, believe it or not, originated years before that, in the Middle Ages, when sort of drinking at any point during the day was sort of more commonplace. So it was a good session if you were starting with breakfast. So it all comes in a kit. So we have the ingredients: a kilogram of pale malt. Then we've got about 200 grams, and this is Carepis malt and amber malt, which goes in together. East Kent Goldings hops, which is the main one. It's 5 grams of them, and then there's 7 grams of Fuggles hops. Plus we have some Irish moss, and if you've seen my earlier videos, I now know that is to clear the beer at the end, and so actually quite a useful little addition. We also have a sock and some yeast to sort of help us along with the process, and I've already got the water on. So the first step is to just activate our yeast. 3 litres of water is boiling, so that's going to come off now, and we're going to wait for it to cool to 65 degrees. This time, lesson learned from before. I did think to boil the kettle about 30 minutes ago before we started. So just still got to get the temperature of this 200 ml of water down to about 30 degrees, and then I can pitch in the yeast. But I'm going to cheat. I've got this pan of 3 litres of water ready for the sparge a bit later on. I'm just going to hold that in there, and you can probably start to see quite quickly the temperature should start coming down. Yeah, there you go, proved me wrong. So I did sanitize the cup before I put it in the cold water, so that would still be fine for the sparge, but I will probably just change it anyway. So we've got the temperature come down to 30 degrees or just below, so I can now add some yeast to this 200 ml of water. This is the yeast. Cover it with some cling film and just put it away for a little while while we carry on with the other steps. Put it back there. I perhaps won't knock it over. This is my bowl of sanitizing fluid, my new toy, a camping bowl that collapses out of the way, but big enough to be able to fit in sort of larger things like my auto siphon when I need to sanitize that. This is another 1 gallon kit from the Ale Smithing Homebrew. Highly recommended. Now, one thing that happened last time, and I'm going to therefore deviate from the otherwise very good instructions that come with these kits. Now, there was a disappointing amount of sediment in the Goldsmith's Honey Ale, and I'm sure we can do better than that. So I am going to deviate from the instructions, and I'm going to effectively rack this for a little while, probably up to 2 to 4 weeks, which is on top of the instructions as they're sort of laid out already. And I'm hoping that will do two of two things. One, it will allow any leftover fermentation to complete, and that could have been the cause of the sediment. And secondly, if it just needs time to sort of settle, it's a chance for that to happen. So otherwise, I'm going to stick to the instructions exactly as is, and we'll see how that goes. The thing about brewing is it takes time, and I've learned a few lessons. So that 3 litres of water over there that just isn't cooling down very quickly, I'm going to also pop in a bowl of cold water and try and get down to temperature a little bit quicker. I had to just put it on really low to just get it back up to 65 degrees because it dropped quite quickly. And we're into the assemble the bag. hardest step, keeping it at 65 degrees. Alexa, set timer 55 minutes.
55 minutes, starting now.
Now that is going to be for me putting the 3 litres of water on. And Alexa, set timer 75 minutes.
Second timer, 1 hour and 15 minutes, starting now.
And that is going to be for when this is ready to come out.
Sorry, I'm having trouble. Please try in a little while.
So it's still climbing. It's at 61 degrees. Stirring regularly. So the goal actually is to keep it between 55 and 65 degrees. So it's just a 65.9. So I'm going to position my lid on there, keep some of the heat in, and I can still see the temperature just about on the thermometer. So this is the waiting game. Not much more to do now until we get to the next stage. Quick sit rep. So here we are on the mash, that's between 55 and 65. And here we have 3 litres of water that's going to boil. That's for the sparge shortly. For the last 5 minutes, we just raise the temperature up to 75 degrees. So I need to put that in a sieve, sanitised ready over here. We're bringing this to the boil, and so I'm taking my sparge, and the whole idea, quick, is to run water through the grain so we get all the sugars that we need to ferment into alcohol. I almost sound like I know what I'm talking about.